Gomez, a celebration of his career. Beth, would you please join me? Adri, Alec. I'd first like to introduce the real keys to Ruff's success as a Marine. His lovely wife, Beth, number one. Beth has stood by Ruff since before he actually was commissioned as a Marine. They got married in 1993. So she herself is a very educated lady. She's got a master's degree in Russian studies, and she has endured and stood by his side through countless PCS moves, countless deployments to combat zones, and she's always been there, his rock of Gibraltar. So Beth, on behalf of the grateful Corps, I would like to thank you for being such a rock bed of his success as a Marine. Thank you very much. Second key to his success, junior in high school, his son Alec. Alec is quite an accomplished, I mean, he takes right after his dad. The apple is truly not fallen far from the Rufino tree. Alec is a qualified lifeguard, okay? And he's also lettered in both football and wrestling. In fact, he's ready to take on anyone out here who thinks they're a McMaster black belt after this. So Alec, you know, again, you stood by your dad, and you've been a huge key to his success. And then finally, his daughter Adri, who, oh, by the way, it's her birthday a week from today. How about a big round of applause? Adri and I have a special relationship that I won't go into now because I don't want to embarrass Adri as a young 15-year-old freshman. But I will tell you, she's got a fantastic career ahead of her. As a freshman, she's a varsity member of the soccer team, and she's already been highly recruited by numerous universities and colleges around the world, although she wants to go to SoCal. So, third pillar of his success is his lovely daughter, Adri. Thank you again, family, on behalf of the grateful Corps for all your support, love, and dedication for Ruff through his career. Please, have a seat. And I always forget, so I got to remember to thank the band. The band truly turns every great event into a spectacular event. So a big round of applause for them. And later on, at the end of the ceremony, they're going to play our beloved fight song, the 3rd Marines hymn, Division hymn, Caltrap hymn as I call it. And for those of you that have never taken the time to memorize the words, I got 10 cheat cards here. So hit me up for one if you need it. And then finally, I want to thank the Marines that made this ceremony so special. First Sergeant Volare. I know it's Velarde, but I call him Volare. Big round of applause for him. Lieutenant Emma Stoican, the announcer, and all the Marines of the Color Guard, and Eric Holmes there that have literally put dozens of hours into this ceremony. And oh, by the way, they got 15 retirement ceremonies between now and August, so they're going to get a lot of practice, and they're all going to be ready for 8th and I when they leave the Caltrap Division. Ruff, why don't you come on up here, please, brother? Ruff, the man of the hour. This is your day to celebrate your life and career as a Marine. Ruff didn't actually start out as a Marine. He was Army strong. Okay? He went in the Army, 1987, spent 3 years, did 2 tours with 2 different infantry divisions, the 2nd Infantry Division in Camp Casey in Korea, and then Fort Riley, Kansas with the 1st Infantry Division. Then he decided he wanted to get out and go ahead and better himself in education. Let me back up first. Ruff is a guy who, like me, his first language was not English. I know you find that hard to believe, but actually my first language was Dinka and Nuer in the southern Sudan. Ruff was Spanish. He was born in Mexico City, and he helped his family navigate across the border there and ended up in Texas. I'm just joking. They came across legally, and he became a naturalized citizen. But you would never know, talking to Ruff or me, that our first language wasn't English. So, I mean, he is an educated, accomplished guy. And part of that education was in elementary school in Texas, where he ran into and is literally the only officer sitting among us that was there at his commissioning as well. But he went to grade school with none other than Sean Fitzpatrick. Why don't you stand up, Sean? In fact, why don't you come on out here and say a few words about your elementary school classmates?
So thank you for this is your life moment here. I appreciate the opportunity to say a few remarks at this occasion. I was actually at his commissioning, so this is kind of I think it's a first for me, maybe a first for most of you. I don't think we get the opportunity to see the beginning of his career very often. I want to thank also Beth for helping coordinate this. I know we're here to celebrate the culmination of a great Marine officer career and all the sacrifice and toil that represents. I think we're all appreciative of that. Far outstrips, I think, any other profession. Most of us will agree. But I'm also here to tell you that the greatest accomplishment of Lieutenant Colonel Gomez's life is convincing Elizabeth Barkell to become Mrs. Gomez and marry him. For those of you who don't know, the chief alluded to it, but Beth is the smartest person here today. You know, she's got a master's in Russian lit. She's been working for her PhD. She went to Middlebury. She speaks 5 or 6 languages. I don't really know. I can't keep track at this point. And she's got linguistic, analytical, and academic skills that are flat out ridiculous. So the great mystery for the crew of us from back home has always been how these two ever managed to have a conversation that Rufino can understand. Really, the answer to that is because, as Colonel Wilson said, Lieutenant Colonel Gomez has come a long way. A lot longer and farther than most of you probably realize. When I first met him, I think we were both about 8. He did speak English, not too well, but he was working on it. And you know, his parents came over legally, as mentioned, in the mid-70s, and they worked hard. They did the jobs that most Americans don't want to do. His dad threw luggage at the international airport in San Antonio for decades. Hard, back-breaking work. And he never did really master the language of his new country, but he raised 4 children in it. His mother mended dresses at Sears, I believe, and then opened her own seamstress shop where she made quinceañera dresses. That's like a Mexican version of Sweet 16. She's very successful. She's in demand. She also made the best hand-rolled tortillas and salsa you ever had in your life. And that's saying a lot from a guy who grew up in southwest San Antonio, or West San Antonio. I'll admit that I tried to wangle an invitation to dinner at his house many times. And I'll tell you, one did not tread lightly into his neighborhood, especially if you look like me, but his mother's cooking was worth it. Like the first generation of, I think, most of our family, probably farther back in history for most of us, his parents, they sacrificed their lives and hard work for the sake of their children. They left desperate poverty and with little education and really nothing more than the determination to work hard and the willingness to put in the long hours and days and years that it takes to make it in America. And I contend that the culmination of their American dream stands before you today as their oldest son celebrates the completion of his career as a Lieutenant Colonel of the United States Marines. Now, I don't know if it gets better than that. I don't know of a better example of the fulfillment of the American promise than that. And I know it hasn't always been easy on Rufino. I mentioned that his neighborhood was rough. Calabria Park was the name of the place. And if you grew up in Calabria Park, you had about an even chance of getting out of there and going to college as you did of becoming a felon. And I think he probably knows about half and half. I grew up not too many miles from there, but my neighborhood wasn't rough like his. Not a lot of good influences over there, but a lot of bad ones. And he navigated through all of that. He kept his focus on what he wanted, where he wanted to go, and what it would take to get there. And I can say today, you got there, brother. I speak for a legion of folks back in Texas, I think, and I can say with confidence that we're all extremely proud. And it's been my privilege to call him a friend for almost 40 years, and an even greater privilege to call him a brother Marine for more than 20. Congratulations.
He asked if I'd take my cover off so I don't look so intimidating. Well, I'm not even done yet. I'm sorry. I'm a kind of guy that just speaks from the heart, no notes. So I hope you bear with me, and then you'll be given your allotted amount of time. Because I think for a true celebration, we need to take a little bit of look at your career and highlight some contributions along the way. So most of you probably don't know this, but Rufino started out as a second lieutenant with what division? The Caltrap division. You're damn right. Can you believe that? A DAF platoon commander in comm company. And he loved it so much that he extended after his third year and went up to be the assistant division inspector general. So last year about this time, when I was looking for someone to take over as the IG, someone mentioned that to me, and I verified it in his record, and I was like, wow, talk about uniquely qualified to take over as the Caltrap Inspector General. And I remember the long, sad look on his face when I brought him into my office one day and said, Ruff, I'm going to add one to your G6 there and make you the G7. So congratulations. And I got to tell you, I was always comfortable. He always kept me well informed. And then one day I saw him sneak into the CG's office without me and with Judge stand up, with the judge in tow. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then it dawned on me, okay, the only reason they're sneaking in his office is it's probably got something to do with me. So I banged on the CG's hatch that they had locked, and I opened it up, and the CG's give me a look like, you don't belong in here, and I'm like, what's going on, sir? And he's like, Chief, it's about you. Now I was cleared, for the record. I was cleared. I gave him no end of crap about that one ever since. And he'll probably get it the rest of his life. But in his time in the Marine Corps, he has served almost 16 years out of his 21 as a Marine overseas, either here in Okinawa, Korea, Italy. He's supported Operation Iraqi Freedom. He's supported Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. He literally is what we call the consummate MAGTF officer. He's even had a chance to serve with Loretta, who I didn't even notice you over there. Congratulations. Please stand up, Loretta, so everyone can acknowledge you. That's the MEF G6. I mean, she advises Whistler on General Whistler on a daily basis. They served together previously. And then we actually share a comm school in common. Infantry officers don't normally go to the Command and Control Systems course, but the year I was up for Captain EWS career level school, my monitor called me, Rick Hall, Stan Budd, and Chris Dowling up and said, hey, guess what? We're going to try an experiment here, and you guys are the 4 infantry guinea pigs to go to the Command and Control Systems course. By the way, Rick, our ADC, was the honor graduate out of that course. Golfers clap for Rick. So, Ruff attended that school, and then he wasn't content, and he had to come back out to Okinawa. Ruff has literally got almost 12 years of service here on this island, which led me to believe, or led me to think the other day, and I Googled it, by the way, so you can Google it after the ceremony and verify it. What is the criteria to run for governor of Okinawa? There's only one. You have to have lived on the island for 10 years. So he is, if he runs for the governor of Okinawa, he has most definitely got my vote. And in fact, he is staying on here in Okinawa because not content to serve 21 years with Marines, now he's going to be of service and give back to those Marines, particularly the high-level, mid-level, and high-level leadership. He is going to be running Okinawa's distance education program. So all you majors and lieutenant colonels and captains out there, you're going to be seeing a lot of him and benefiting from his mentorship still when he transitions to Caltrap Civilian Division. All right? Now, I was really impressed with him because I'm always trying to find a volunteer to give us a PME once a month. We have a PME, and it's so tough. People flee the passageway when they see me coming for them. But I got to tell you, one of the finest PMEs that we experienced was through this guy. And that's why I realized this guy is a distance education instructor. Were I a captain or a major, lieutenant colonel again, I would want this guy as my instructor. He might be a commo, but he sure knows a lot about tactics, maneuver, and shooting, moving, and communicating. So, you've heard enough of me now. Again, this is Rufino's day. On behalf of the Commandant, General Clarity, and every member of the Caltrap Division, or even the MEF, we want to salute you and thank you for your service to Corps and country. And I would just like to say that you have had a positive impact, I'll say this lightly, on legions of America's 21st century Spartans, United States Marines. And what you have done in your 21 years in the Marine Corps will echo through eternity. I salute you, my friend. Thank you for the honor.